Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Love, here with your NXT Takeover 36 review for August 22nd, 2021. I apologize if this is going to be a day later than I expected because long day back at school now and things. But nonetheless, I said I was going to be reviewing for NXT Takeover, and thus I am. So, solid show. I mean, Takeover is not as it used to be years ago, but still a solid card. Um, of course, if you like this video, be sure to click that like button, as well as the subscribe if you want to see more of these pro wrestling reviews. Also, my AEW reviews, as well as my Impact Slammiversary review. I may do more, just depends. But with that out of the way, let's get into take the top of the card. So, first we had Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight for the $1 Million Championship. So, we know that this saga has been going on for the last few months. Cameron Grimes tried to beat the $1 Million Champion for Ted DiBiase. And then LA Knight came into the picture, and then all of a sudden, Cameron Grimes became LA Knight's butler. And then this was about developing the sympathy to becoming more of a babyface for Cameron Grimes. Solid effort, but this match was good. I mean, judging from their 3 matches with the match at TakeOver 35 and then the Great American Bash, this is definitely a good match, although I must say. So, Ted DiBiase actually threw Cameron Grimes into LA Knight like a corner dropkick almost into the steps. So, nice spot. Then a tilt-a-whirl slam by Knight. And then a beautiful burning hammer by Knight for near fall. I spelled Drake because it's still in my mind Eli Drake, but LA Knight for near fall. Then Grimes his beautiful flatliner slam. Then they were bowing on the top rope, and Knight hit a top rope release German suplex for near fall. Then LA Knight was trying to orchestrate into the $1 Million title. And then so he was pulled on the outside. The referee did not see it. Ted DiBiase dropped LA Knight on the outside, walked in the $1 Million Dream, threw Knight into the ring. Grimes followed up with the cave-in and won. He is the new $1 Million Champion. And good for heck of a moment for Grimes being next to DiBiase, and now the $1 Million Champion. The only crime is that they were still in the Capital Wrestling Center. They should have gotten at least somewhat of a bigger venue, but oh well. Then we got Dakota Kai versus Raquel Gonzales for the Women's Championship. This match was conflicting because of the length of Raquel Gonzalez's reign and Dakota Kai She's kept going and going for the title, but it's like now she's healthy again. Can they rely on her and pull the trigger to be a champion? And that was not the case. Gonzales won with the Avalanche one powerbomb for the win. Dakota Kai, I'm worried because I'm a big fan of Dakota Kai, and she may get demoted to the main roster. And if Tony Storm can't succeed on the main roster or be booked right, I don't see how Dakota Kai can be booked right. So it's a shame, but afterwards, Kaylee Ray, the former NXT UK Women's Champion, it came out and locked eyes with Raquel Gonzales. She was on the stage. That was pretty much it. Kaylee Ray, I have not seen much of her in NXT UK. I've seen glimpses, and really, there's not many that Raquel has not faced. So this would be a fresh matchup, although Kaylee Ray has not. Tony Storm is now on the main roster, so it depends, but it would definitely be a fresh matchup, I'll say. Then we got match of the night, which is a great match with Walter and Ilja Dragunov. 2, the rematch. Over a year since the first matchup happened. I do not get this match. Just made me think why there were more fans in attendance, but it is what it is. Still a great matchup, just physical and a testament to both's will in this match. So Dragunov, he was perched on top rope, and then a big chop by Walter sent Dragunov to the outside. He landed a powerbomb to Dragunov on the apron, which had a stink. So they were back in the ring. They had a slugfest. Dragunov trying to get the advantage back. And then Dragunov, he was whipped off the ropes. And Walter caught him with a rebound Uranagi suplex. Or a slam. A chop and a big boot, which dropped Dragunov. He countered with an armbar takedown, but Walter got out of it. Then heavy strikes by Dragunov, big knee, a lariat, and then a suplex, followed up with a dumps overhead slam by Dragunov for a near fall. And Dragunov hit a top rope missile dropkick followed by a senton. And then he hit the torpedo Moscow for a near fall. And a huge chop by Walter, which his chops are probably the worst in the bit. I mean the worst, but they're the best, definitely in the business. The worst, definitely that take in the business. Chop by Walter, which dropped Dragunov for near fall. They superplex by Dragunov along with another missile dropkick. Walter countered with a Urnag or lariat, followed by a top rope splash for their fall. Then Dragunov, he was relentless here, landing strikes to the back of the head and neck of Walter. Kept going for the slipper hold, the rear naked choke, and then finally, at the end, Dragunov, he cinched the choke in deeper, tighter, and Walter, he tapped out. And Walter's over 700-day reign as champion is dethroned. The first time Walter has been beaten in NXT. But really, when you think about what else is there for Walter to do in NXT, UK, he's definitely outgrown that. So hopefully this means that Walter is moving on to NXT Global, because besides the third match with Dragunov, I don't think there's anything left for Walter to do in NXT UK. Plus, Imperium is on NXT Global, so perhaps that. But hell of a match, hell of a win for Dragunov. So then we got Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly 3. 2 out of 3 falls. Adam Cole's last match in NXT. Potentially last match in WWE. So first fall was a straight up one fall to the finish. So big lariat by O'Reilly, and then he came off the top rope and was caught with a super kick by Cole. Cole then went up for Panama Sunrise, but O'Reilly countered and stacked up Cole for the pin, and O'Reilly wins the first fall. So then we get to the second fall, a street fight. And then there was a chair set up on the outside, and Cole, he was sitting on this chair, and O'Reilly put a trash can over Cole's head and landed a diving foot stomp on Cole, wearing the trash can off the apron. Then most of the second fall was O'Reilly ribs and his arm. He was targeted. So O'Reilly was on the top rope, and Cole hit a super kick to Riley's arm, which knocked him off the top rope to the outside. Then a kendo stick was involved, and salute to his Bay, which may be an omen that he is coming to AEW potentially. Cole locked on the lockjaw, and his version of the lockjaw, aka Britt Baker's finisher in AEW, with the kendo stick, brutal spot. So then finally, they were both on the outside. They got a pair of chains and they wrapped them around their fists. Got into a slugfest with the chains. Cole then hit a beautiful super kick from their fall. Cole then, he was thrown into the glass, protecting the fans on the outside. So then there was a chair set up in the ring. O'Reilly, he was on the top rope. Cole threw O'Reilly off the top rope on this chair and then hit the last shot on O'Reilly for the win, or winning the second fall. So then finally, the steel cage wraps around. The third fall commences. So they're perched on the top rope. They're both trying to escape. O'Reilly then got thrown on the top rope. Then Cole hit a Panama Sunrise off top rope for a 2 count. Then this is when the finish happened, and it felt kind of rushed and just odd. So there were some handcuffs, and Cole handcuffed O'Reilly to the top rope. And Cole was just hammering strikes to O'Reilly. Finally, he went for a super kick, and O'Reilly caught it. And then with one of his arms handcuffed to the top rope, O'Reilly locked on a heel hook. Cole tapped, and that was it. So very strange way for Cole. I mean, O'Reilly, we knew he was going to win. We know he's staying in NXT. How long with this new stance being put into place with the whole you can't be under 6 foot, you can't be a midget per se in NXT. We know O'Reilly's staying. But the question is just how this match ended for Cole standoff was very strange, very strange. So then we get to the main event, Samoa Joe versus Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship. This was, first of all, Scarlett was not with Kross. Very strange. Very strange. Much like his main roster on Raw, it's just strange with her out of the act. This being Samoa Joe's first match back in a long time. He was obviously on commentary for Raw. Then they brought him back. However, this is his first match in NXT in years. And he's getting a NXT Championship match. This was good for what it was, though, I must say. Although it was disheartening because Kross, this was kind of it for him on NXT. So, a suicida by Joe and a power slam for their fall. Then Joe hit a powerbomb, walked in to an STF. Kross got out of it, landed a DDT for near fall. Joe walked on the Kohia clutch, but Kross countered it into the cross jacket. Then the finish came. Kross went for his finishing forearm to the back of the neck, but Joe countered into a Uranagi, and then Kross was set up on the top rope, Enziguri, and then a muscle buster by Joe, which we have not seen in a long time. I mean, ever since Tyson Kidd was injured from the muscle buster by Joe, it's been kind of outlawed for some time now. And seeing him use it again was, although a breath of fresh air, still gut-wrenching when you know Kross is doomed. And 1, 2, 3, Joe wins. He becomes the first 3-time NXT champion. Now, I imagine he'll have a nice feud or nice run as NXT champion. Excuse me. Hopefully, with what we saw tonight, perhaps to get Walter to take that title off of Joe. But we'll have to see with NXT changing what's going to happen. But nonetheless, that was the show for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry if it's late. Stuff happened, but here again with the podcast. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you. I'll be back later this week, obviously, with AEW Dynamite review and Rampage review. So thank you. Be safe and peace.